see them talk say, make we off mind. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you ladder. Oh, yo, yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout. Oh, yo, yo.
Maiyegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. By popular demand, the Oduduwa Republic Anthem will now go first before we get fully into this. I love that anthem, honestly. All the Yoruba state governors or anybody who is parading himself as a political representative in Yoruba land, political, religious, tribal, traditional, community, even you house leaders, you should begin to let your children understand the wordings in this anthem. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have decided to start this broadcast with a kind of a word of, should I say word of admonition, or a kind of call to think. The problem with Nigeria is a problem, or is the result, I would say, of the society that Nigeria currently represents. A corrupt, misguided, and completely dehumanized society that produces heartless criminals as the leaders who represent them. The leaders of Nigeria, past, present, dead, alive, and all that, all of them, they are the true reflection of what Nigeria is as a whole. So, and I found out that when you link up all of these problems, from the, from the politicians down to the people who are their foot soldiers, praising them, fighting for them, rigging for them, killing for them, and all of it. When you link all of this together, you realize that it all started from being culpable or being told that being upright is not really welcome. Society won't tell you. The society wants you to be godly. Okay, you have to be so godly, but doesn't mean that if your ways are evil, just appear godly, upright, even when you are completely, The society is a society whereby children are being told to keep quiet. We were raised to always be very, very careful of what we say. They are not saying we should be careful of probably lying. That's not really a big problem. Being careful means if you see truth and you want to say it as a kid, you are raised or punished for being too kind of, I don't know how to put this to you, right? In Yoruba land, for example, if a child says everything or being curious about everything, such child is considered as somebody everyone should watch out for, somebody that cannot keep secrets. So you are expected to kind of unwritten code to learn how to keep secrets. That the better you can keep secret, the better you can keep your mouth shut, the longer you will live. So I decided to start this tonight by telling you that, please, if we have to change anything at all, I mean, to really, really be impactful, for those of us who are raised to always keep our mouth shut, when you see criminals perpetrating criminalities, you have to keep your mouth shut. To the point that even the police will tell you to keep your mouth shut. Because when you tell the police about criminals, instead of them going for the criminals, they will come for you, the informant. That is the society in Nigeria. And that is not by accident. It is by gradual conditioning you to know that, I mean, to keep your mouth shut. I mean, your mouth shut whenever, Agberos wants to collect money from drivers, the money they didn't work for, they have no explanation for, but you have to sit down there because the society says, just keep your mouth shut, don't put yourself in trouble. Please, if we want to change anything at all, if we want to really make any difference, it's not going to be much on this generation of mine, mostly yours. If you are already 20 years old and above, to maybe 70, 80, it is going to take eternity for us to deconstruct you, to deconstruct your thinking, to make you accept that most of what you are raised with, the ideology that you are raised with, contributed to the society that is now wrecked. Nigeria, that Nigeria that is now killing our own people. It is because of that, it will take forever to deconstruct many of you, but we can do a lot by not making the children that are now being born and given birth to, that are now rising and growing up, not to be like us, like many, many of us. When I say we should deconstruct our mind, it will work better if we contribute to molding the minds of the young ones who are growing up now, not to believe in a society that says they should keep their mouth shut. Start with your children. Family value has been eroded in Nigeria so badly that children are now breadwinners in many family homes, in many homes in Nigeria today. When I say children, I'm talking about children who are meant to be dependent on their own parent or guardians or the government providing and protecting them. These children are now the vulnerable children who are into so many of these absurdities that we have we have generally condoned to some extent. Children becoming breadwinners at home because the society has rendered their parents useless, destroyed them. After the society molded them into into adults, into individuals that will always keep their mouth shut. The individuals that cannot ask questions, the zombie generations, that if you ask questions, you are looking for trouble. Have you not noticed that this is a generation whereby many, many people have wished so many evil happen to me, I should get arrested. I have said things that, God, this guy is still alive. How come this guy is still alive? I thought if anybody tried this thing that this guy is saying, or this why, that person would have been killed, arrested, this and that. It's because of the way you are constructed to be so scared, fearful, that once you go out of that unwritten code of keeping your mouth shut, it is that mentality of keeping your mouth shut that you will see a police officer that hasn't received salary for the past 1 year. You know it. Yet he's paying the school fees of his children. He's building a new house. He just bought a new car. You know what he does. You know how he raises the money. But the society says you should keep short. That same society says when you see a politician that his own take-home salary every month is 450,000 naira. 450,000 naira. But he's building a multi-millionaire mansion. But to you, he's a politician now. Do you know how many money they have access to? You don't care to know how much of that illegal money he has access to. because you are raised to keep your mouth shut. And then the mentality of if you can't beat them, you will join them. So please, let us start telling our children that they can tell us anything. They can ask us anything. Tell your children, assure them that they can tell you anything and everything. When you begin to make your children build real trust, not that kind of trust, African mentality, that African trust. They'll say, African parents, because your own parent, because our parents did that to us. Today, we have generation of people who are so scared to even speak their mind, not to talk of coming together to defend what they rightly know that it is their right to ask for. Our parents, their own parents, made them succumb using religion, using other means of tradition, all of these things that were abused. The society that molded us to know that if I say anything right now, the next thing, I cannot walk on the street of Lagos State, or else anything can happen to me. And whatever happened to me, majority will agree that is the one that caused it, Jare. That Maiyegun, he talks too much. There are so many things he said that have they're supposed to have killed the guy itself. Do you know why you think I should have been killed? For speaking my mind, for saying things that you agree to in most ways, but you can't say. Do you know why you think I should be arrested? It's because you are constructed that way. And that is why, even when Nigeria is killing Nigerians, politicians continue to violate the promises they made. It is so hard for people to come out and say, enough. Why is it that we are not getting enough number to challenge the status quo? Because the status quo is supported by the constructed populace that sees every wrong thing as right thing. Except or depends on who is actually doing the right thing or that wrong thing. Do you understand that it is a social construct? That it is not written, but it is there. You know it. We know it. And that is why you will still see anyone standing up defending APC, Egbekegbe, despite the statistic, the number, the figure that shows that with the way Nigeria is going, it's either Nigeria is going to end up having a civil war, or they have to automatically find a means and restructure the country. Even if your mind is telling you that nothing will happen, nothing will happen. The reason why nothing is happening yet to you is because your mind is constructed that even if it's going to remain 10 people, if we kill ourselves, last, everybody will find the level, and then the people will survive will go survive. That is not true. That is what Nigeria has done to you. So we need to begin to tell our children that they are free to talk to us. If they see anything, if they are curious about anything, okay, they should be able to ask us, and they are free to make their choices. Your job as a guardian is to guide them aright. As the parents, even as an African parent, learn that culture of letting your children talk to you. Don't make them feel like, hey, these new children, they can ask anything. No, many of the things they will say, they don't born me well to say that to my mama. Let them say it to you. Do you understand? You will still raise responsible adults, responsible children that will be empathetic to other people, that are not going to be constructed to care for himself and only react when things are wrong with him. But when things are wrong with others, he can care less. You need to let your children talk to you. The children that are able to talk to the adult, speak their mind, the way they feel, will be the adults, the grown-up adults that you will see on that street talking about the society. They will not be oppressed when a thief in Babariga with police gun and everything. They will not be intimidated because of what they are thinking and what they want to say. When we begin to let those children know that This society is not right. And they have every right to talk about it. Don't tell them to shut up. Hey, don't put me in trouble. Don't put you this boy, don't you this girl, don't this shy, don't put me in trouble. That was how our own parents constructed us. And that was how their own parents constructed them. And then they turned them to God, the God that none of them will ever vote for, even if you put God on the ballot as the president of Nigeria, as they made you believe that you can pretend to be upright. That is why somebody, a grown-up adult, when they say, okay, Maiyegun, people have said that to me many times, and I've countered them, and they have never come back. You know what? To disprove me. When people say, Maiyegun, Yorubas don't insult our elders. Is that how your own parents raised you? To talk down about our elders? And I'm like, okay, let's take it one after the other. You are trying to tell me to shut up, not to speak about the problem, provide solution. And I am someone who would like to talk about the problem, and at the same time name the names of those behind the problems. And I go as far as even giving you pictorial evidence, video evidence and all that. Now, if you are now going to use what our own parents used on us, if you want to use that on me now, this is where you miss it. You have leaders who promised good education, good and standard education, security for the people, good healthcare system for the people, economy that will provide jobs for the youth, right? Then the youth will not be profiled by the police. Police brutality will never be in existence. Justice will exist. Infrastructural development will be, these are the promises. These are the things they tell you every time they campaign to us. So let's say some people believe them and they agree with them and give them that power. Now, there is no electricity. There is no school. There is no hospital. There is no good road. The infrastructure they promised, they have not delivered, okay? The security they promised, they have not delivered as well. The jobs they have promised, they have not delivered. Now, I want to talk about that, okay? Then I want to talk about the people who made those promises, failed, but still want to be accorded, respected as elders who care for their people, right? So in the process of talking about it, you think I am disrespecting them. Possibly I have no good home training to name the crime, name the criminals, and call them out, yeah? To shut me up using that mentality, that social construct that many of you don't know they have used it on you. You don't know. You call it African training. Oh, African home training. That is not home training, right? They promised, they failed. We have to name them, right? If that constitutes a lack of home training for me, for naming them, what will you call the attitude of stealing, looting, promise and fail, and all this barbarity going on, perpetrated by the same people who want me to respect culture, bow for elders, respect culture? At least if I don't respect them, I should respect their age, right? Can you tell me whose home training did these guys receive? What kind of home training did the people who promised us good education, for example, in Yoruba land, who promised us safety in Yoruba land, who promised us, our children, good and qualitative education in Yoruba land, yeah? But they failed. They have not delivered. You know it. I know it. Then you know them. I know them. You don't want to name them. I want to name them. So if naming them, calling them out, makes me lack of home training, and it's because my parents didn't train me, right? What would you say? Did their own parents train them to steal your money? It's a straightforward question. This is why you must not in any way join them in that African mentality that they always say it is manipulative, it is not true. And I will tell you what is the truth. In African culture, in my own Yoruba culture, which I grew up in as part of Nigeria, yeah, there is a saying in Yoruba land that tí ọmọ olè tó bá da àrán borí, tó wọ agbádá ẹtù, tó wọ bàtà ẹtù, àwọn bàtà idẹ, tó wá gbé agogo idẹ àti gbogbo ẹ̀ yìnrìnyìnrìn sọ́rùn, bó ṣe lè wù kó lọ́lá tó, kó bùyàrì tó, aṣọ olè ló dàbora, ohun tí olè bá ní kì í ṣe tiẹ̀. Which simply means even when you see a thief dressed in a gold loin, dressed in gold from head to toe, and in the most expensive jewelries you can think of, remember this: whatever you see on a thief or with a thief does not belong to him. It is a stolen item. It doesn't matter how expensive it looks or how glamorous he appears because of what he has. Remember this. That's a Yoruba saying. I don't know how you say it in your own African culture, right? So also in Yoruba land, yeah, they say your name, name, if you build a name, that family name that we are inheriting, I am Badero. You see that Badero? They didn't give me any inheritance. I didn't receive any billions or millions as inheritance. But that name, there is an unwritten code that if that name should go bad, now from my own head, they will start saying, you see, the Baderos, the Maiyegun, you know what I'm talking about. So whatever I get myself involved in my life, I must protect that name, not for myself, but for those who are going to bear that name. So name is so powerful than any title, any riches. Yeah, it's good to be rich. It's great. We have rich people in Yoruba land, people who made their wealth legitimately, and they will stand in the midst of great men and prove their mettle only if they were allowed to. Right? So from my own culture, if somebody is a thief, known thief, they say àgùntàn tó bá bá ajá rìn, á ṣe kí ni? Á jẹ ìgbẹ́. Sorry, back home we have dogs that actually eat shit. Okay? So when you ruin your name, ruin your family name, right? It's like somebody eating shit. Me becoming your friend simply because you have something you give to me automatically turn me to a dog, even if I am just a sheep, but I'm now a dog for befriending you. What that simply means is that you should be careful with the people you associate with. As a Yoruba man, your association, your association with people can bring total ruin, not just to yourself, but to your lineage and your generations to come. So all of this is talking about integrity. Okay? If you want to be involved in business, remember who you are. Remember your name. Treat them with honesty, transparency, sincerity, so that whatever you do, let posterity judge you. Do you understand that? That is the background of where I come from. Until politics changed everything. Politics now changed everything to the point that known drug barons that you will never publicly associate with, they started philanthropy business, philanthropist campaign in Yoruba land. Known criminals. They started helping people since the government, the country has collapsed their own economic strength anyway. More people are in poverty. So they would rather just go to anywhere they can get fed. So this now opened windows for all manner of criminals to become noblemen and women in Yoruba land, ní Nigeria. You can see, let me tell you something. You can actually pair what I'm telling you about Yoruba land now with your own tribe, culture, background, even when you are not a Yoruba man. You are going to agree with me on many of these things. Because if you are a true African, you will know where this whole thing started getting K-leg from. We had history. We still have history. And we still have many of us known as Yoruba Omoluabi. Omoluabi means a person of integrity, the best modesty that you can find in humanity. You will find it in a Yoruba man or a Yoruba woman, or combine of them. Sincerity, love, accommodation. You know what I mean? Sharing. That's who we are. Until politicians took that away from us. Drug dealers, drug barons, certificate forgers, fraudsters, kidnapper killers, murderers, contract manipulators. They started speaking for the people. That was where we lost it, right? And the society responded in like mind. We started justifying all the wrong things, especially as long as it's allow us to have our way. Politicians will bring food. You know that they are not going to do anything. But do you really think the people who are collecting these things, who are constructed to believe that politicians will never do anything, you should just be grateful when they manage to do anything? That is a social construct that I'm begging you to please, do not pass it on to your children. Let them be bold to speak their mind. Don't interrupt them whenever they are expressing themselves. Listen to them. Let them speak on anything and everything. Let them believe in you, that you can listen, so that they will not become the adult in the society that will say it is all right for us to continue to listen to thieves who have now put the lives of everybody in danger. Okay? Nigeria is currently at the state of is currently in the state of emergency. Okay? Nigeria has been in the state of emergency for so long, even before Buhari became your president. Yeah? Before he finally led the country into what is now today's poverty capital of the world. Before he came in, even from 1999, when Obasanjo came in, you had an economy that was growing by 6.9% rate at the time. Yaradua came in, did his own little magic, 7.6%. Jonathan came in, crashed it a bit down to 5%. Buhari came in, changed it down to 0.28%. And like magic, Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world. There are people who make the agreements, who made the arrangements, who made the deal and dragged Yoruba into it. You should know this. If we are all been asking right questions, if we are all been raised, if we were raised to be bold enough to be asking questions, I mean, from those who claim to be speaking for Yoruba, this is the time, okay? This is the time that the general campaign in Yoruba land right now should be about how to educate the citizens to renegotiate whatever Yoruba is still doing with Nigeria. They are not doing that. And do you know why? Because the people that are supposed to make that decisions are the people benefiting from the chaos. The victims of the chaos are constructed to believe that they cannot ask that question like, why can't we renegotiate everything? That is something a young child will ask you. If a 4-year-old kid or 6-year-old child wants to ask you about what is wrong with Nigeria, some of you don't even have the answer because you've never had a say. Genuinely. Sorry, I am reading something there. My dear sister, Ojora Elizabeth. What happened? I'll bring that on and I can be able to read it. A lot of people have stood up for Awikonko. Concerns his personal work, not on agitation, will be released. That's the latest. Okay. I think that's something so different, so to say. There's nothing wrong as we are now. Let me probably make you understand something, okay? As Yoruba people in Nigeria, all right? Like every other tribe in Nigeria, Nigeria has gotten to a stage whereby whatever deal that they said Nigeria, or is that unity of Nigeria that is not negotiable, they should bring that deal out now. And everyone in Yoruba land should be demanding for that. And that is why I am asking you to please, in your own little way, don't join the gang of those that will be shutting down this new generation of children coming up, okay? As much as you also join us in demanding that we should renegotiate Nigeria now. Whatever the deal is that they are claiming not to be negotiable, right? Nigeria has collapsed to the point that people are no longer talking about education anymore. People are not talking about how to improve healthcare anymore. People are not talking about how to improve the economy anymore. They are not even interested a lot about that anymore. Everything keeps sounding the same to them. 90% of the concern of many people right now in Nigeria and outside Nigeria is the security. As the insecurity continues to escalate and drag down to other parts of Nigeria, especially in Yoruba land, as Yoruba people, there should be something called the Yoruba National Security Council meeting. There should be something like that right now. Emergency security meeting in Yoruba land. There should be an emergency security meeting in Igbo land. For those of you who don't know, this insecurity of Fulani terrorism has gotten so bad in Niger Delta too. Bayelsa, the Bayelsa state where Jonathan come from, is hotbed of Fulani terrorism as we speak. There should be one in every part of the country, including in northern Nigeria, where they will be discussing whatever deal that brought Nigeria together that they said is non-negotiable. Everybody should begin to ask for that copy, the copy of that deal. Number one, there is no copy. There is no deal. There's no written deal anywhere that insists that Nigeria must remain part of, Yoruba must remain part of Nigeria. Biafra must remain part of Nigeria. No, there's no written anything. The only book, worthless paper that they have right now that they are trying to cling on to is the 1999 Constitution. 1999 Constitution is written by just 4 people selected by the military government of Abdulsalami Abubakar. And in that book, it is the military government in Agbada. 98% of all the power over everything in Nigeria is vested in the executive list. That is the president. Whoever is the president of Nigeria owed 98% of power on everything. The remaining 2% given to the rest of the country, they still have to take permission from whoever is the president before that request can be approved. How does that make a country work? Every day they talk about state police to protect the people. From who? From foreign invaders. in northern Nigeria, they have more than 215 illegal routes, which are completely unmanned. And you have the influx of terrorists. The regions cannot discuss how to protect themselves. The Nigerian police and the Nigerian presidency must send people there. The exclusive list, so to say. That's something that every reasonable person should be able to come out boldly in Yoruba land. It doesn't matter where you belong to politically, all right? That is a reasonable thing to be demanded for by everyone in Yoruba land right now. Not just in Yoruba land, across the country. The northern Nigeria can form their own security, Islamic security outfit. They called it ISBA. But there's nowhere it is written in that constitution that they should do that. Yet they are doing it. The Igbos cannot form their own Eastern Security Network to protect their farmers from the influx of the foreign invaders, according to the government. They cannot. The Nigerian army, who has the responsibility, according to them, according to their own constitution, to protect every territorial integrity of the country. That means every part of the country. Now, they have over 210 illegal borders, illegal routes, open to all African countries to come in. Now, they have opened that for 6 years. Now, they are now discussing how to give a national amnesty to these acclaimed foreign bandits. The Nigerian army that cannot protect and secure these places, whose only constitutional responsibility is to protect the territorial borders of Nigeria, they have failed. But they are going after the Igbos, the Biafrans, who have set up Eastern Security Network to protect themselves from these foreign invaders, according to Nigeria. How does that make any sense? How could that make any Igbo man or woman feel comfortable watching all of this simply because of your association with Nigeria? How can you, as a Yoruba man or woman, even if you don't belong to any political party, forget political parties now, I'm talking about whatever it is that is called the unity of Nigeria, that make it impossible for the military to protect our people in Yoruba land, the police to protect our people in Yoruba land from becoming refugees in Benin Republic. Is that not a failure of agreement? What does an agreement mean? What does that unity mean? The unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. What is that unity in clear definition? The reason why they are not letting us ask that question is because they are telling us that they have the answer. That is wrong. You cannot have an answer that says we have to become refugee in another country. Yet we are part of a country that should protect us.
See them talk say, make we off mind. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you ladder. Oh, yo, yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout. Oh, yo, yo.
Maiyegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo.